Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to another Everton 24/7 report, keeping you up to date with all today's Everton news. Well, the main headline of today has to be the breaking news regarding Andre Gomes. It finally looks like his permanent move to Goodison is set to be concluded. It looks like it'll be tomorrow. The fee touted differs from around 20.5 million to 25 million euros, which is around £22 million. Whichever way you look at it, we're securing the services here of a player who's already had a big impact on Everton last year. And we look set to do it for what in this market can only be described as a steal. Now, I know a lot of people have been reacting to the Gomes news already in the last few hours on social media, so be sure to let us know what you think in the comments section below, and of course follow us on Twitter, at Everton Newsfeed. I know what I'm thinking personally, and that's... what a man, Marcel Brands. What a man. Moving on from our current director of football nicely to our former director of football, the much maligned Steve Walsh, who oversaw some shambolic transfer business in his time as our sporting director. He's the man we have to thank for £120,000 going into Sandro Ramirez's bank account every week. But it seems these days in football you can only fail upwards, as perhaps his partner in crime, Ronald Koeman, has already suggested, given his exploits now managing his country, of course. But this rumour surely tops the lot. Manchester United are keen to make Steve Walsh their new director of football, as if their upstairs operations haven't been disastrous enough already under the stewardship of Ed Woodward. It could be about to get a lot worse. It gets even more outrageous now. Even the Sir Alex Ferguson has come out and said that he's really keen for Steve Walsh to be appointed as the sporting director and thinks he could be the man to oversee the United rebuild that, from their perspective, is desperately needed. And believe me, if Steve Walsh is the answer, United must be very desperate indeed. Is there something we were missing with Steve Walsh? Let's not be too hasty. Then maybe he's got some magic trick up his sleeve that he never really worked with Everton. I mean, the only magic trick we ever saw was his briefcase going to Italy and not really coming back. But is there something we were missing with Steve Walsh? I don't think there was personally, but will he prove us wrong, or are United set to plummet to a whole new low? Be sure to leave your opinion on Walsh as well in the comments below. I mean, it's going to be one that surely everyone's been very opinionated about all today, so be sure to keep those comments coming. As always, there's time for the customary daily transfer speculation now, and we're going to start with a familiar name to everybody searching for Everton rumours in the last couple of windows, and that is Thiago Mendes, a Brazilian midfielder who helped Lille to qualify for the Champions League this season, second place behind PSG, and he put in some great performances in midfield. He was linked with us in January, and we were looking to go for him again maybe. We would be in competition with Lyon, make of that what you will, to get him according to the French paper Le Ten Sport, or Le D Sport, whatever way you want to call it. Like those January rumours though, signing a tough tackling workhorse midfielder of Thiago Mendes' style would hinge probably on whether or not Idrissa Gana Gueye leaves Everton this summer. And those rumours themselves do seem to have cooled down from our perspective, thankfully, for the time being. Moving on, and Haris Seferovic was a name that we were linked with back in the Martinez days, I think, albeit as a backup to Romelu Lukaku back in those days. Given we failed to replace Lukaku for 2 years, Portuguese outlet A Bola have put 2 and 2 together to suggest we are back in for the Swiss striker, who's now playing for Benfica and, in fairness, has had the best goal-scoring season of his career in Portugal this year. 27 goals in all competitions. There's nothing to be sniffed at. And given that we are lacking an out-and-out goal scorer up top, we may well be interested in a striker who can put the ball in the onion bag. As usual in these situations in the media, we aren't the only suitor, and Southampton are also after him. If it was between us and Southampton, I'd like to think we'd be able to get him to Goodison, particularly as we probably promise him first-team football as well as the main goal scorer. At 27, he's slightly over the age bracket that Marcel Brands and Marco Silva are pursuing. But with the need for a deadly striker, this may be one to keep an eye on, as he's a different sort of striker to anything we've got at Everton at the moment, and that could be a very interesting one to just keep in mind. Finally, another striker, a young starlet, rather well known, Moise Kean, the young striker who was impressed with Juventus last season. He does very much, unlike maybe Seferovic, fit the mould of the player we're pursuing these days under Marcel Brands, and despite that, I can't see us pulling it off. It's a deal that I don't think's a going, and neither does Calcio Mercato, the ever outspoken Italian sports newspaper, who believe that the apparent £26 million bid that we plan to submit will be rejected outright by Juventus, and that Juve will plan to offer him a new contract in the coming months. So, whichever way you look at it, for better or worse, it seems like we'll have to wait to get another Moise at Everton in the future. Finally, I'm going to finish on something which is going on right now, and that is England's under-21's opening game of the European Championships against France. Our own Dominic Calvert-Lewin, John Joe Kenny and Kieran Dowell are all in the squad, but are all sitting on the bench from the start today. And they'll all be hoping to make a contribution at some stage. And hopefully our youngsters can help England bring it home, as they did in the under-20s 2 years ago. So, of course, best of luck to the young Lions in these Euros. Well, that's it from me for today from the Everton 24/7 report. Be sure to let us know what you thought of any of the topics we've covered today. Comment, like and subscribe as always to the Toffee Blues, and until next time.